Så ska vi börja då?
Ja, visst, vi kör väl igång.
Vi
pratar om vilken spel är det som vi pratar om igen?
Jag vet inte, det var så länge sedan.
KeyForge?
KeyForge?
Ja. Ja, det var något
Du vet
sånt,
att det är för att KeyForge i vårdens språk också? Är det finska?
제가 그 한국말 할 수 있어. 그래서 그 KeyForge는 하고 싶어요.
Nyckelbygge.
Nyckelsmide. Du behöver inte prata finska nu.
Okej, pelataan KeyForgea.
Yeah, cool. Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the Nordic KeyForge podcast. We're back with episode
Back from
70.
the dead.
Back from the dead. KeyForge is still around. We haven't died. Okay, can we just say that? You know, we're still here, and so we're back after over 6 months of a hiatus. So we can all be quite pleased there. But most of us are here for this episode. So I'm Jason, Captain Kirk, as you probably recognise my voice, and we have just going around the screen that I have in front of me. We have Linus, Leinusu.
Hey, Linus is here.
Yes,
good to be around. We are around.
So good to see you, man. So good to see you. We also have Carl Algononer, the beekeeper.
Hello. The beekeeper is here.
Yeah, the current reigning Swedish champion until next week. Right? You're still
possibly,
the Swedish champion. Yeah, excellent. We have Anders.
Martian Dog, yeah.
Martian Dog.
Yeah, still trying to figure out what the kind of game I'm trying to play. But I'm usually having fun.
That's cool. Well, good to see you. Very happy you're here. And you know, we wouldn't have a decent episode if we didn't have our water sponsor here, Hydrophilic Attack. Jonas, how are you?
You're stuck with me.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Can I just say I have missed you guys. I've missed doing podcasts with all of you. This is going to be a fun 3-hour episode.
Good luck with your.
It is currently listeners are like, okay.
It is currently 10:26 at the time of recording in the evening, and the looks that I got here was great. But anyway, we are back with the Nordic KeyForge podcast, and we have an episode for you. What are we going to talk about? Like we've got a loose thing to talk about. Should we start with the news?
What news?
Yeah, cool. Well, we are back due to popular demand, I should say, because people have been going, are they dead? Are they carrying on? So we thought we would do that. But we have actually decided that we are going to go on a 10-year hiatus. No, we are. Not all of us are currently in the game anymore, and we have thought that actually now is a time to probably say a proper kind of a goodbye for now to all of you listeners, and thank you for listening. But to say a goodbye and thank you, goodbye for now, we are going to give you a good episode to carry on with, and this will not be the last you hear of us anyway, because we are still in our 30s, right? 20s, most of you.
I wish.
Yeah. Is it just me that's in my 30s? You guys are all...
No, I'm in my 30s, but I feel like in my 40s these days.
Yeah. The rest of you are young and everything, but yeah.
Thank you, but I'm actually apparently the oldest one in this group then.
Yeah, I think we should do an episode like when we're from the elderly home that we will all go to.
Yeah.
And 50 years from now, we can return and talk about.
Still talking about how mass mutation was the height of KeyForge.
Yeah.
I doubt I will be alive in 50 years. Let's do it 40 years from now.
Okay, 40 years.
Yeah. But this is kind of what we feel like we're doing, and we didn't just want to kind of just forget that this thing existed and just go off without saying, you know, thank you everyone for the support that you have given us. Thank you for the laughs, the feedback that we've had, and everything. Like the Swedish Nationals last year was fantastic, meeting everyone. So yeah, this is that. However, we are still in the community. You never know what might happen in the future, so we are not shutting down the feed. You can still go back and listen to everything. Simon couldn't be here tonight. He's stuck in a hotel somewhere without internet or decent internet access, so that's his. But you can go back to listen to his great advice on KeyForge and some of the fun conversations and abuse that we all give each other over the time, and learn something from that. But to carry on with this episode, we thought, well, actually, what are we doing now? Like, are we in the game? What are we doing with our lives? And maybe we should start with people still playing KeyForge, or should we start with us that don't play so often anymore? How are we in the game, and how is it kind of keeping up with different card games that we're playing? Do we think? I don't know, Linus, do you want to? I think
I was thinking about Hydra and Algernon could start.
Yeah, because you guys are still active in the league, the NKFL.
Yeah, I can start.
How are you guys feeling about KeyForge and playing card games?
So I'm still playing pretty much as I always have. Like I play in the NKFL. I play in KTL, like the KeyForge Team League. I play in Kagi every season, and I still play occasional like TCO random games, pretty much daily as well. And I still love the game. I don't really love the new sets, so when I play on TCO, I host with the lobby saying like only the sets 1 to 5. I play in the NKFL Legacy games or Legacy League, not the one where I have to face Grim Reminders and the other new sets. So I try to like focus my KeyForge playing to playing the sets and the kind of KeyForge I enjoy playing. And with that, I've kept like my enthusiasm for the game. But I am like I can understand people maybe not finding that enthusiasm playing versus some of the new stuff. So yeah, that's where I am currently. And I actually have to say I'm also organizing the Swedish Nationals this weekend, so like very involved with.
You're involved, buddy. Wow.
Yeah. So that's amazing. So if you haven't booked yet, get down and join the troves of people on
I
the week.
guess this episode might be out too late for people to actually join, but who knows?
I'll do what I can to get out in time.
Okay.
2025 sometime. Hydro.
Yes. So I'm not playing as much as I have at some points of my life where I was obsessed and spent 6 hours per day or something.
Good.
So I'm kind of relaxed. I mainly play the league, and that's the NKFL and the standard NKFL, and maybe some side cup, and that's it. And then some evenings if I have an hour to kill, or if I'm doing laundry and I have to wait for something to dry for an hour, I log on and play one of my decks. So not basically many weeks I only play in the league, and that's it. And then I maybe on average one night per week I play some other games on TCO, and that's it. And then I try to play whenever we play live in Stockholm, but so far we have managed once in summer, I think, or twice. So it's not that often. But even though it's not often, I'm still really enjoying the time I spend. And I enjoy also playing the new sets. I feel like, yes, like the very top range of the new sets are not fun, but to play against at least. But with how the NKFL works with Hexed and bans, I don't feel like I have to face it too often. So I'm okay with that. And when I'm playing, most of my games I'm playing on TCO, most of the time I'm not playing with competitive decks, so I'm playing in casual. And these days, you don't really run into people playing super strong decks in casual. So I'm having good casual games of the new sets with, medium level strength deck against medium level strength deck. And I'm really enjoying those games. I think at that kind of deck level, deck strength, I think the new sets are very fun. It's mainly just that upper range that are disgusting.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So yeah, still enjoying the game. Not obsessed with it anymore, which is maybe good.
So,
but still,
how many reps have you put on the deck? I can't remember the name of it now.
I'm not sure I've even played it this year.
Oh wow!
Low curve, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I have 3,500. I don't think I will get to 4,000. So yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, the little time I spend, I still try to play every deck I open 10 times.
Wow.
So most of the time where I don't play league games, I try to play, the decks I've just opened, just to try them out.
Yeah. But that's still good to see that both of you are still very much committed to playing and enjoying this game.
Yeah, I think like the key for me is like I have no other interest in a card game. There is no like a competitor for me. I will never play another card game, I'm pretty sure. So my biggest interest is board games generally, and KeyForge is my only card game outlet. So it just fills a void, and I have no interest in any other card game taking its place. So I'm stuck here.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, Algernon. This is the first card game I really got into, and when my interest dies or the community dies, I will not move on to another game. That will be it. I will move back to. I mean, I still play a lot of video games, but I will, I guess, put the KeyForge time into more video games.
Yeah. I think kind of like maybe that's we can see if that theory holds true, but I think if you came into the game being like a card game player, I think like then feels like KeyForge is just one of the many options you have available, and perhaps not like the strongest options like support wise. So then it makes sense for like the people who move away to do so, I think. But yeah, I'm not in that boat. So I'm stuck.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, then I can jump in here as well.
Yeah, go for this.
Yeah, I try to identify myself as a board gamer more than a card gamer. So that's one of the reasons why I like KeyForge. It's often a very unbalanced game, and sometimes that means that you have like a friend here in Dalarna usually says it's rock, paper, shotgun. And that's a very good description, because sometimes certain decks can balance each other out, and then are some decks that can really blow the other ones totally away. But they all have their weaknesses. Well, most of them. I've seen some pretty horrendous decks out there now from the newer sets. So that is one of the reasons why I'm a bit reluctant to go all in. I pledged for Amber Skies and got some decks there, but I haven't played very much with them either. I've played a few games with some decks, and there are some good mechanics in it. I returned to the NKFL last season, bottom division, but came in third in my little pod. So I did quite okay.
Well,
That's good, Anders,
nothing
right?
beats experience.
No, yeah.
You've got experience. That's great.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, I made a mistake selecting decks, so I basically only had 5 decks to play with. I accidentally submitted one deck incorrectly.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
You face the wrath.
Yeah, well, so but
All that
that's just
experience and still.
no, yeah.
But I mean, that's not bad. You finished third despite playing with one deck short.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's quite impressive.
And quite funny. It was almost always the same decks that got banned
Yeah.
in the same order.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get into the game to maybe play 2 or 3 games or 1 league game a week. That's about roughly all right. And I will try to look out for local events when they occur. We have a small championship here this weekend also in Falun, but I sadly can't attend. But hopefully they will have a good time. The ones
So
playing.
wait, they've got a championship the same time as the Swedish nationals.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, that's just rude.
yeah. Well, there are certain of the guys there that can't
No, of course
go
not,
away
yeah.
this weekend, so they decided to have their own little
Yeah.
get together.
And they
Is
might
that-
get
is that-
as many
is-
players.
Is Candyman
Yeah.
in that one? Is Candyman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
yeah. Well, he is the local focal point
Yeah.
of KeyForge here in my part of the
Yeah.
country. He has gotten his son and one of his cousins to play, so without him it all falls apart.
Is he also the one who said rock, paper, shotgun?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like something he would say.
Yeah.
Sounds like Candyman.
Yeah,
Shout out,
and
by the way, shout out to Candyman.
yeah.
Good memories
they-
from KFC.
yeah.
Yeah.
If
Also,
they-
friend of the pod, he was on one episode.
Yeah,
he
he
was
was.
on episode, yeah.
Yeah.
And I must admit that if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be here because he took me in when I found him on TCO way back, and he got me really hooked and showed me the league and introduced me to this community and so on. So if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be this involved in the hobby. I would have saved a whole lot of money though.
Yeah.
But knowing me, I would probably have blown it on something else.
Well, then that it's not even a shout. Like, you know, big, like, thank you then to, I guess, for Candyman.
Yeah.
For everything he's done for the community. Then, really, like, but you bring you and other people in as well. Like, there is so many things. Did he go to KFC as well?
Yeah.
Yeah,
this year.
he's
He
the
went to
reigning
KFC.
champion. Reigning Swedish champion. And
Yes,
he will
he is.
be as well because he won Alliance and we won't have Alliance this year, so he will keep his title.
Until next year at least.
Yep.
When we have Alliance again next year.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. Well,
As long as you have anything to say about it, that will not be the case. I guess.
No.
okay, great. Well, that's interesting. You coming back into the game now, Anders, as maybe a couple of others are not playing so much at all. Like, for example, myself, and also we also know that Linus, also you're not playing much at all, if anything, at the moment. Do you want to talk about what you're doing first, or?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking of how I would start this section because I started playing this game when it came out. Was it 2018?
Yeah.
So that's many years. And I've been since from the day one really involved in the game. I've really been spamming it. Like if I go to BGG, at some point I stopped because at that time I was putting up all of my games. I was counting. So I ended up in somewhere 3,000 games, and then I've stopped. Then so I don't know. It's probably way more. So I've really kind of put my soul into the game to a certain sense, I really enjoyed it. I loved the speediness of the game. It was perfect for my life situation, having kids and not having the same time that I used to have when I was by myself. So this game was like snappy, and that was important. So the idea of not having a deck building part of the game, just buy a deck and play it, just kind of sold me. In my life situation, it was perfect. So, and kind of that reflects also the Swedish community, because most of us are like around 30 to 40 years old, which is kind of in that range of probably having kids or So I think that's kind of natural. That's we are all of, for me, my background also is board games. First of all, I played a bunch of board games, and I tried Magic a little bit when I was younger. I participated in some sort of tournament, had some sort of a budget deck and so forth, but never really went into that deeper than that, because it was just way too much money. I didn't have money when I was young. I needed to work for all my money that time if I want to do anything too expensive. So what we did was we had a bunch of Magic cards, and then we made a cube, and we played cube draft. That was what we did with our friends. We had like several friends, and that's only my card experience before. So KeyForge was literally the first real kind of card game that I really went into, like all in way, and really wanted to become good at it and really learn the game so that I could be able to even teach it and be successful to a certain extent. So then I played, and I played until I think my point where I kind of realized that it might be time for a pause or something, hiatus, whatever you call it, was probably here around the summertime, here when I realized, I think it's the point when I realized I cannot back AS, I cannot back Amber Skies, and the FOMO was really took over, and when I realized that I don't have the budget all the time to back a game found, because I want to back game found. I want to be the first in the wave to get this stuff. Like for me, I realized afterwards when people got their AS decks, and I'm like, where's mine? I feel like empty. I feel like this is unfair. This is not even fun. So if this is going to be my future with the game, that I can't back the game, I don't want to feel that misery. So it's too expensive. It's literally too expensive for a European to buy, for me at least, with my budget, to back that game every single set. So that kind of really gave the first ignite for the idea of probably this is it. And then combined, I've been doing streaming for over a year, streaming KeyForge only. I was hoping that maybe this game will actually get some air into its sales and might actually get some sort of surge and new people. But realizing that that's not happening, I kind of... And my mindset when I was thinking, I used to play the game because I was super fan of the game and I just want to stream. But my mindset with streaming went over to wanting to be a streamer instead of just playing that game. So those two together kind of combined made me realize like probably this is it. Which is I'm really mixed in my feelings, because I was blessed. People, I was blessed with the community, meeting all the contacts, all the peoples, and I got the chance to get to KFC, have that experience, meet the people there in real life. Like seriously, there's no better community ever that I met, even in the board game communities. Like KeyForge community is special. Like the people that I've met, the people that I made friends in KeyForge. I mean, it's been a wonderful journey, and I'm gonna probably miss it a lot. And now when I'm talking about it, I'm kind of like I almost want to cry to a certain extent, because it's been a amazing experience. All the years that I spent, all the people that I met. I would have a list of people that I could say here that I have a kind of like a special connection, and like Riku is one of them, for example, that we are in with Swindle team, and he's been such a kind person and helpful. I really wanted to get me to Vietnam and so forth to do stuff with KeyForge, and I wasn't able because of my life situation. I have now the third kid that even squeezed even more of my time. You know, NKFL takes a lot of time to play those 3 games, banning, all that kind of stuff. That also became harder. So all these puzzles together kind of put me in the spot that I'm now on the back seat, looking. You know, I was following the Worlds, asking, you know, talking with the people there. I'm not like out of the community. I'm kind of in the shadows in the back seat, and I'm still there, but I'm not really playing the game at the moment. The love towards the game hasn't disappeared. To a certain, maybe it has. The certain kind of really the hype or the enthusiasm that I might have had the game has been lowering, or lowered. But I still, you know, when I think about KeyForge, I still love the game, even with the new sets.
Yeah, I must agree. I had a hiatus here for I don't know how long, but I still kept in touch with all the local players. I still kept my eyes on the Discord, and I still read up on rules and so on because I still enjoyed the game. I just didn't have the time to play it.
Similar issues also. Time
Yeah.
is less. When I got third kid, that's he was born August. Like
This year.
No, like 15 months ago.
Okay.
So that year, the hassle really, like, no.
Yeah,
I
can
wasn't
totally
expecting. I wasn't expecting that 3 kids would take that more time compared to 2. But
It's
Well, you only have
exponential.
2 hands.
But I can
But,
totally relate to like the game found,
Yeah.
like the
me too.
expense of the game is a big hurdle, or it asks
Because-
questions of
yeah,
its
because-
players.
Yeah,
Or,
no, definitely, especially for over here, because like $150, which is, you know, the one where you get a decent amount of everything. Like that's okay. The exchange rate now is at 1,500 crowns, but because taxes and delivery and everything like that takes that up over to near 2,500. It really puts like $100 on top of what you're
Yeah.
paying there, and so we are
Yeah.
not getting the value for that to come over here. And now, and we can't always guarantee that we could get it in the shops here. But obviously, as Key4 fans, we want to have the latest.
Yeah, but even
yeah.
even when we get it into the shops, like the retail price is so much higher now
What's
than
it
it
now?
was.
Is it, it's 175. It is in my local.
Yeah, it's around there.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so compared. So
And-
when you know that you need to buy like loads of displays if you want to get like really competitive
Yeah.
deck.
Yeah.
Before you could like get $100 100 kronos, Swedish kronos, like around $10 at that time probably,
Yeah.
something like that. And you could kind of get those displays to $100 or 1,000 Swedish kronor. That was okay. Like that
It was
was
worth
a
it.
you know, okay range where I could buy enough that I could at least get one somewhat competitive deck, because I'm still a super competitive player, and that's also one of the problems, because I don't want to then back and just buy little. I wanted to buy a bunch, but that means like 10,000 Swedish kronor, like $1,000, but I don't have that kind of money, like every
Yeah.
whatever set. And talking about sets, like when they announced that it's gonna be this set, that set, this set, those sets, I was like, I want to have everything. I want to have at least shot to everything. I don't have the money.
Yeah.
So that was also one of the reasons. Kind of, I was like, sorry, I can't. I just can't handle it.
But I
Yeah,
found actually like it a bit freeing. Like the way they put out sets now means I can't afford to. I didn't back the Ember Skies game found, and I only bought. I have 2 decks of each, like from the new sets. I bought 2 Ember Skies, 2 Tokens of Exchange, and 2 more Mass Mutation, and I feel kind of content. Like
You've
they're not-
experienced it, and that's enough.
yeah, like I'm not very interested in the new decks because I just came to a point where I can't afford to buy into these decks or these sets. So what should I focus on then? Like I traded away loads of my Grim Reminders decks and some Winds of Change as well for like old AOA, Kota, Worlds Collide, like the sets that I actually enjoy playing the most. So I just feel like I'm pretty done with the new sets, but I still love the game and I will play it the way I like the old sets. And it works.
Yeah.
Like I can be probably quite competitive with the decks I do have, even if I don't invest in the new sets, at least for now. I can play like Kage, I can play adaptive with these sets. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I think it works. But yeah, I'm with you. I can't afford to invest.
So I want to dig a bit more into this game found aspect because I think it's hurting the game in three different ways, and you've touched on two of them. One is the price. It's really hard to keep up with the same volume as before. It's like more than double than before. Second is I think it's really this thing you mentioned, Dinosaur, with the fear of missing out. I think it's really a big thing that makes it harder to attract new players. That if you go to the shop and everyone there has access to decks you can't buy it, that's really strange. How do you get into the game then? I think it's really a hurdle. I don't know if it's really a big hurdle because it's only a few weeks maybe, but it's enough of a psychological hurdle, I think, to keep people away.
Yeah, and this also affects TCO because if I go to the local shop and there's 10 players there, I can expect one or two to have a really good deck. But if I go out on TCO and challenge a random player there, I could face the world's meanest KeyForge deck ever constructed. And I can do that every time I start a new game. That drains my energy because I like the idea of maybe more casual, fun games that not end in 3-0. I want a close game 2-3 to someone and lots of laughs while playing.
And I think, and that's also, if you're getting crushed by a deck that's really strong and it's also from a set you haven't even been able to access yet because you didn't support the game fund, that makes it feel even worse.
Yeah.
And then the third aspect, which maybe is just me projecting, but I really think the best way to enjoy the game is not to open 50 decks at once, but to open them a bit more gradually. And I feel like opening a lot of decks at once is a kind of unhealthy way to play the game. It becomes like obsessive.
Yeah.
You open a bunch, most of them they don't look good, so you don't even test them, and you feel kind of disappointed, like you have eaten, I don't know, half a liter of ice cream or something, and you feel like, why did I do this to myself? I opened 50 decks and I found one deck that was okay. That feels bad. And I think the game found kind of incites that behavior, like it makes you get all the decks at once, and then to stay competitive, you want to open it all at once.
I agree.
And it So I think really the game found that approach. I think it really has hurt the games in the game in many ways that I'm not sure they are aware of, or
which is also odd. I mean, the first one obviously had to be game found because they needed the capital to get started, to get the algorithm back up going and everything like that as well. But continuing with that and not then investing in, maybe a better deal with Asmodee or maybe something else to get the game to us in Europe where the players are outside of the US, and making it accessible in that way. And when I get on to talking about my experience and kind of exiting the game the way I have, it was really difficult to try and be the guy. I wanted to be the guy in like my local area to really like be the corner flag of just trying to get more players into it, because I have a Monday night game group. I have people that came down and really enjoyed playing the game one night. We had a fantastic night with the Grim Reminders. Actually, I think it was, I had like a Grim Reminder, I think it was my Grim Reminder, what do you call it, my Game Found stuff as well. I used those 12 decks. I actually got all the players to, we play with my decks and you get to sleeve them. Really good, easy way to get them sleeved. And then they played with them. They had the best time. We had an amazing time that night. And they new players, they didn't really get the full combos of what it possibly could do. They were just exploring the game. And we had such a good night that night.
Yeah, I think that's how KeyForge is meant to be played.
Yeah, exactly.
Going down to the store, a couple of friends, each buying 2 or 3 decks, and then playing those decks against each other, and so on. That sounds to me like the perfect KeyForge evening.
Yeah.
So Captain, what happened to that group then when you wanted to continue playing?
Well, that group, the Monday night group that we have, we're about 50, 60, 70 players now that meet every Monday night playing board games in general.
50 or 15?
50, 50. We've got the student union that are getting involved now as well, and every Monday night I run a board game group that has we're like 45 last night, but we're anywhere between 50 and 70 people most night playing board games, which is so much fun. I've got the local newspaper coming to visit next week. It's really cool.
Wait a minute! Wow, you have the whole youth of Skövde in your pocket.
Yeah. And so there's a few of us that like to sit and play the longer games that take 3 hours, that sit all night. Like Wormerspan is hugely popular. I'm there playing Swoo with some people. Last night I've had play a couple of games with the new set with one of my friends that also plays the game with me, and then the Star Wars deck building game, for example. But like we played with some people of the group yesterday, and on Sunday even, I played Twilight Imperium for 12 hours. It's just people who want to play games and can just meet up and play games, and it's really cool to do that. But they're not playing KeyForge.
And why is that?
And that is because when we try to do and I pushed my local game store so hard to say, look, can we do a pre-release? And then we got something else booked in that day, so can we push it back a couple of weeks because we have a big Magic tournament? I mean, they're Magic first, this shop anyway. But they couldn't even do the store championship when we wanted to do it, and we couldn't do the pre-release when we wanted to do it because their pre-release packs came in a month after the release of the game. So they couldn't get the packs in, and when we finally did the pre-release, and we decided to cancel the store championship because they could sell the pre-release packs, they couldn't sell anything for store championship. So obviously, as a shop, you want to do that. 2 of us turned up. The other person I knew quite well, and he also came along to the group. It was my friend Eric that came down to the Swedish Nationals, and he just went, "No, I'm going home then," and just walked out the door. And so it was just me, and that was it. And so that was the thing. And the shop don't even want to stock KeyForge anymore. And then a week later, they got sent the store championship kit, and then they also got sent some Menagerie and. Did I say that? Menage? I didn't say lingerie for something. I'm tired. I just want to make sure. But they got sent the Menagerie, and they got sent the store championship prize decks as well. And I'm not sure if they still even have them in stock. Because I said, the Menagerie was quite fun. Opening them up and seeing the packs. It's kind of a nice.
It's very fun, but it's also
they
were also
stuff.
very expensive. Like for being decks you can't play. Like tournament legal, they were very expensive, so probably they still have them in stock.
They probably do. I think they were going to try and send them back, but I'm not sure if they could. And it always got to the point where they gave me this black bag over here that I'm pointing to now. I've got a load of deck boxes and KeyForge sleeves in there that they just gave me one day because they were clearing out their store.
But really, they were screwed over.
Yeah.
I mean, that shop was screwed over by how
Yeah.
they didn't get the product on time.
But I mean, they knew that I would go in there and I was buying decks and I was buying Winds of Exchange, and they knew they could probably sell it to me. But then I wasn't really. I lost interest because I had no one to play with. Really, I had no one to sit down and play with at the same time as other games were coming up that were interesting, and I was getting a part of a community there where I could sit down and play with people, which is what I want from playing a game.
Yeah, of course.
The online community is fantastic. I completely agree wholeheartedly with what you said, Linus. Is like this KeyForge community is, I haven't known anything like it. I haven't known anything like it since. I played a bit of Flesh and Blood. I suck at that game. It was really difficult. I didn't quite get all the rules. There was still so much I was still trying to learn. And they were really nice guys, but it still didn't compare to you guys. It still didn't compare to the Swedish guys. It didn't compare to the Swindle team, which has been a huge part of my journey. Then... Yeah, so what I'm inwardly craving is sitting down with people and playing a game face to face, sitting around a table.
And you're getting that now from other games.
And I'm getting that now from other games because I've gone pretty full strength into Star Wars Unlimited. I'm a big Star Wars fan anyway, so it was quite easy. And when this game came out, this game came out, then like Manatorsk, they're also going full on with Star Wars. So Manatorsk is the local game shop. They are the biggest shop in Sweden that is with the biggest gaming community in Sweden for Star Wars. We've got a tournament at the end of the month. We're expecting about 64 people at least to come and play this game.
Nice.
We had.
Do you even have 64 people?
People are coming from around the country to want to play. They've just moved to a bigger shop. So I mean, you guys. I mean, one of my biggest memories, actually, the biggest best thing was the KeyForge, was where you guys came down.
That was amazing.
Through
Yeah,
the
that was
snow.
nice.
Through the snow. That was.
Oh my goodness! I drew that. Oh, that's crazy.
Oh man, it was
right.
that was such it was a big night.
It was a blizzard, literally a snow blizzard,
Yeah.
and we were driving.
And like I love you guys for coming down and and still coming, even though the roads, the weather, they had weather warnings, and we still made it a really good tournament. But they've moved to a bigger shop close down into town. They've got space for 80 people in the basement.
Oh, wow.
Down there, and
That's
it's
amazing.
a really, really great place to get to sit. The owners are absolutely. I mean, you guys met the owners when you were there. Smashing people, really good. But they've gone full into Star Wars, and so we were, before we moved, we were 20 people on weekly play every week, non-stop, and they had 32 people at the last pre-release. That kind of stuff is like, I like being in a physical community as well. And so yeah, that's kind of what's happened for me in the game, is like I haven't decided to stop playing KeyForge. I've just been, my focus has just been moved elsewhere, and with that my energy wanted to go into doing content for that, so which is why I created the Nordic Takedown podcast, which is my Star Wars based podcast.
Nice plug.
Yeah. So if you miss my voice, you can hear me over there.
Nice.
Takedown is a card in the game, so that's where that came from.
Makes sense.
However, for the first 6 episodes, I couldn't start it without doing a retake, because I would say "Welcome to the Nordic KeyForge podcast" every single time. So you guys are deep in my heart.
You missed us.
But
I do, and I still do. But Linus, yeah, you
were saying when you were talking here, one thing that I realized, even when I'm thinking about my kind of journey now with the KeyForge and a new card game, I realized that because KeyForge is about buying a deck, and you just buy it randomly, right? You buy a sealed deck, you don't know what you get. That creates that issue of, you need to be able to invest somewhat. You need to have capital to play this game. More, actually, in my opinion, compared to a normal TCG game.
Yes.
Because in the normal TCG game, what you can do is you can focus on one type of a hero or character, and then buy cards to that and hone that one. And you can really, because what you do, you probably at the start of the game, you buy starter decks, you try here and there, you do sealed, and hey, I like this one, and then you start to focus on that certain kind of type of deck, and you build around it.
Yes.
And will probably get cheaper, and we will still be able to probably have a really competitive deck and have a good time.
Yes.
That's something, because I've started to play the altered TCG, and I have really felt that what I just said. And actually, altered is kind of affordable. Here's the thing. I got to know about the altered when the Kickstarter happened. I don't remember exactly when. I checked it, and I was like, oh, that was around somewhere with the GR, the Grim Reminder game fund. It's somewhere there. I had just put
It started early, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah,
Compared to when people got stuff,
I put a lot of money to the Grim Reminders. Like a lot of money into the Grim Reminders game fund, and I had just paid that, and then I saw the Kickstarter or something like that. I don't know exactly, but the point is, I had just put up a huge amount of money, and I see that amazing, interesting game. The Altered really got my attention at that time when I was in Kickstarter, and I wasn't able to back it. But then I decided, okay, I'm gonna save money when it comes to a retail. So I had a capital then, a bunch of money for that game only, because I felt this might actually be something. And I went into that then, and this was at the same time with the AS and all the that it's just expensive, and I could get so much more into Altered, and I have literally now I can build almost all the at the moment meta decks in that game to really cheap, and I can test everything on Board Game Arena. So all this what I'm saying now is just, that makes it so hard to make the KeyForge grow. I'm again saying in the sorrow, because I really love KeyForge. KeyForge is such a brilliant game. The game design is so good. There's so much potential. There's so much good stuff, but the things around it is hindering the game to really blossom.
Maybe it's because they want it to be. People want it to be something that it can't be. Maybe. They're pushing it to be something that it can't be unless like everyone's in as well. But it's, for some people, the casual game is enough, and it can be enough, and people can really enjoy the casual game of KeyForge enough in that way. But I think if you want to be competitive, if you want to really push the competitive, then that's just the people. Just looking at the five of us, like what we all want out of it. Like we want to. I want to play competitive and have an in-person community. KeyForge can't give me that. But I think Linus is a similar thing, with you want to be competitive, but you don't have the capital to do that, whereas there is a game where you can do that. And Altered is a fantastic system as well, that you don't have. I love the thing with Altered that you don't get a deck that's algorithmically generated. You have a card that could be the only card of that type. One of the rares. Is it rares that are like that? That's
Mythics.
The myth, the mythics that could be.
That's what they're called.
It's a really, really good system, and QR codes, and you can just manage everything online. They've done really well.
Uniques,
and they've got
uniques,
yeah.
Uniques.
And then they have the official Board Game Arena game, so they're officially online. And it's a really, really good model there. You know that
they had a in France they had a tournament that should have been a side event with 68 people, and they turned up 1,000 people. Yeah. No, did I say wrong?
Yeah. It's
100.
No, it's no.
Was it 1,000?
No, it was 1,000. It was over 1,000 people.
Okay,
1,064 or something crazy like that. And I was
crazy,
like, what?
Huge number.
Give me a box.
But I don't want to talk that much about other games.
No.
But for me, KeyForge is it's always been, because I live on countryside, or somewhat countryside. I don't have a gaming community. I don't have the time to be able to play. Never, even when I started KeyForge, it's always going to be online. So TZO, the Crucible Online, really, saved for me KeyForge. Like, that gave me the chance to play the game, also to meet all kind of people online from the whole world, the whole community. So just the aspect that this game can be played online is like a key factor for me. So Star Wars Unlimited, no chance. Like there's no.
No.
That's also one reason Alter was an interest, because I could know that hey, they're gonna play it. It's
Yeah.
gonna be an online
Yeah.
client.
Mm.
So KeyForge had that strength in it. That hey, I can do it, and the games are faster when you play it online. Perfect for me. So that was one of the biggest hooks for me, that I could play KeyForge on the PC.
Yeah, same for me. I like when I started to play KeyForge, it was when my youngest daughter was like I was home with her, and like overall with my like you said, with having small kids, it's perfect. Like I can even like play versus myself. So if I need to pause, go away, that works. So TCO, I think, saved it not for just us. Yeah, I think it saved the game like for everyone pretty much during the hiatus. And
The pandemic as well, when we couldn't do anything.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
TCO
true.
during the pandemic. Yeah.
But like compared to you then, Jason, who like you crave the physical, like playing cards versus an opponent on the other side of the table. I never had that really. I played occasionally, like in Stockholm locally, but it wasn't really. Yeah, that's not the part that I need to enjoy the game. I need like affordable sets and a good like model for distribution, and I need like well balanced sets that are put out that creates fun games. And I think what KeyForge has that the other, like many of the other card games, seems to lack is like the variety. Like the thing where you build a single deck and you hone it. Maybe you have a couple and you hone it. That sounds very boring to me. Like I love the fact that I have so many different like good decks that do vastly different things. And so like every time I log on to TCO to play a game, I can pick like, okay, this deck does something completely different to the other deck. They are both very strong, but they do completely different things. And so I think variety is like the main draw to KeyForge, really.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And not only variety in your own decks, but variety in your opponent's
Yeah,
decks.
that as well.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have everyone playing the same meta
Yeah.
deck
No,
that they
no.
looked up online.
Exactly, because not everyone has access to meta. So
Yeah, that's a unique, beautiful part of KeyForge.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You could just get a deck that is that good. But it feels like KeyForge is like the Kagi way. Like KeyForge adaptive is where it should have stayed. Where KeyForge was best, I think.
Yeah, and
or
Kage
where
is
it
still
could
there, you know.
be.
Join Kage, it's great.
And I will always advocate for sealed.
Yeah,
I
no, of
think
course, yeah.
sealed is the best way to play the game. Also,
just make
like
sorry, no, carry on.
no, just that takes away
Yeah.
the problem of needing to have the most powerful deck.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. But even it's still like the Anders, you're talking about the backwards and forwards that you want to have in a KeyForge game.
Yeah.
You will get that more or less in the Kagi way, because you both get to play with both decks and you have the exploration stuff there, and then you get to chain one deck down, etc. Like that was the fun of KeyForge. Like trying to choose the deck was my really stuff. Linus, you wanted to say something as well? That
No.
I cut you off.
Well, speaking of chains and so on, I think that aspect of the game isn't used enough. I would love to see people coming to a game and, for example, you have a SAS 75 against a SAS 90. Okay, then the SAS 90 gets a shitload of chains on it. Then it'll be a fun game, because then things automatically become okay. Now things are even.
Well, you put a lot of trust there in the SAS calculations.
Yeah.
It was a very generalization.
Yeah.
But and I know there are plenty of lower SAS decks that can kick most decks' ass.
Yeah. But you
Well,
could,
they
for
were-
example, have a system where you, if you had like an official client or whatever, that it tracked win percentage of decks, and based on like comparatively what you face if as an option, like adding chains to the deck with a higher percentage or something.
Exactly.
You mean something like where you go to the shop every week and then you play games, and then if you win you get a chain on your deck, and then
Yeah.
you build up the chains on your deck.
Yeah, sounds good.
That sounds like a novel idea, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Why didn't they think of that from the start? I mean,
Yeah.
I imagined an online client was in the thought process when they designed the game, but too bad they couldn't make a proper one. And I'm not bashing the Crucible Online, but I wish that they had made a proper one from start.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, all of this comes down to the need for proper internet security.
Yeah.
With how the game the algorithm got lost in the first place. Just as possibility as something to be, and I'm just kind of plugging my own kind of my day job here as well. I do a lot of IT security. If you're interested and your company needs IT security, reach out to me. But just
the Nordic
just
Internet Security Podcast.
It doesn't have the same ring.
No, not really. No, I could work on that maybe.
Nordic 365 podcast. Oh, that's an idea. But just think what would have happened if that because I mean we can't blame FFG for that, and we can't blame them for what had to happen. We know the pandemic, they had to downsize. We can't blame them for that. But if they did and they fought on and the game client did come out, could there have been something different? Because the initial sets are well designed.
Yeah.
I think for sure the game would have been healthier in Europe if it stayed under FFG, if they had been able to revive it, just because of the fact that they had more global presence and could manufacture in Europe and keep the prices lower, because you don't have the big customs.
Yeah, and the decks would have still got more expensive because like around the pandemic as everything, like board games went up 30 to 40% in price anyway. Around the pandemic.
But KeyForge went up 80%.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And in one big jump, it wasn't like 120, 130 for a deck. It was 95 crowns locally to 175. Which I didn't even want to touch that, of course, but we don't need to repeat ourselves and go back there. But I do feel like that with the distribution that they had, FFG had behind there, that like Ghost Galaxy, they've always had a uphill battle. Yeah, they've always had an uphill battle, and it was an economic decision for them to focus in the US. I'm not a businessman myself. Talking.
Yeah, I'm not blaming blaming them for that. No. I mean, they have to do what they need to do to survive.
But I am.
But it has hurt to game here.
Yeah. Like the thing you can question is the fact, splashing out the prize pool money like the first year after taking over for the Alliance and Orcon tournaments and World Tours, to then drop that entirely and not really we didn't see any advertisements or PR how to make the game visible in game stores or around the world. There are things that you can question about how you spent the money you got from the first game found, but I mean it's trial and error, I guess.
I do.
I'm guessing also lack of people. I mean, you can have money to market stuff, but you need someone to put together the marketing material.
Yeah. But I mean, they must have believed in the growth. Otherwise you wouldn't put out the prize money.
I think we can all agree though, just as a way to round this conversation off, and to go into something where I want to take a little bit of a trip down memory lane and talk about some of the big things that we remember of the big memories that we have together, and to remind our listeners too of what those episodes are, so they can go back and listen, and when they miss us. But KeyForge means a lot to us still. It always has done. It's the community that we're in. The community is fantastic, and there are so many people where KeyForge has changed their lives being in this community. Just look at like Emperor Riku, who was guest on the pod in one of our most recent episodes, we could say 6 months ago, and he got married at KFC. No, not the chicken shop. The in Worlds, he got married at Worlds, which is incredible. Like this game means so much to him. He's the one of the cornerstones in Vietnam for the game, and even probably worldwide as well. Such an incredible person. Absolutely love him. Linus, you've got a good relationship with him as well. You know him way more than I do. But you have people like that, people where KeyForge has been that shining light for them to help them to go through hard times. And I do miss playing it. I miss playing the game, and I miss the community. And I think the community, carry on and keep that community going as much as you can, if that's what you're in. And just because we're not playing the game doesn't mean we're leaving the community.
Well, some of us are still trying to play the game.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and the game can be what you need it to be.
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't sold my most
No,
my favorite decks that are good still. I have sold some, but I'm keeping just in case.
Yeah.
I mean, if you enjoyed the game back in the days, it's still just as fun. Like you don't have to play against like Winds of Exchange into Key Abduction or whatever. You can play versus other stuff, and you can play adaptive, or you can play whatever. Like the game is not worse now than it ever was. Like it's still great.
I think that's one of the strengths of KeyForge. All the different formats that are existing, even though they aren't official. Just the game itself, I don't. You might correct me, but I don't recall any of these TCG games having so many different formats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, sure, there's some differences in different TCGs, but like KeyForge, we have already mentioned a bunch of them: Hexad, Adaptive, Archon, Alliance, Sealed, different variations. Then Swindle team is like Karen is like have been brewing so many different types of green. Rotasserie, they have even made the Commander version, Keymander. There's so many existing. So
and not to mention that the older sets are now, I think, finding a new niche as well, because as far as I can see it, there's not a lot of, for example, steel in the newer decks, while the older had maybe too much.
Yeah, you have red line rotation, but
there
are.
I see. I don't know what that card is. Like, I have zero knowledge of Ember Skies, which I'm a little bit gutted about that I didn't get, because some of the cards were great. But
shall we just say what the text is and blow your mind?
Go for it. Okay.
Reveal.
Is it a broken card, or is it a really bad card?
So it's a card that has a number pip.
Yep.
And it's an action, and it says play. If your opponent has 7 or more amber, steal half of it.
I forget if it's rounded up or rounded down, but it's insane.
I think it's rounded down, but
So isn't that just like the original bait and switch?
Yeah, it's better than the original.
And faster.
And it really needed the pip as well, because sometimes you don't steal if they have.
And it's an uncommon, so
yeah. But the fact that they have less cards in the pool as well means that it's not rare to see multiples of these.
No, I meant it's too strong to be an uncommon. It's
I know.
Rare.
Just adding on to that fact.
Okay. So I still really love KeyForge, but wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope to get my hands on some Ember Skies at some point. And one of my hopes for this game is that, like, Ghost Galaxy's model works. That focusing on America, it works. They can grow the community there, and then they find an opportunity to then come back to Europe and come back to the rest of the world, for us, so that we can go into our local shop and pick up a deck, and shops will want to do that. Hopefully, they haven't burned those bridges with all the shops as well, because that's really difficult. So my hope is that it comes back and it succeeds more than they do, and so huge good luck to Ghost Galaxy for that.
Yeah, I also hope that when they do, like if the game actually grows and they can put more like profit into their pockets, they can reintroduce the travel reimbursements, which was for me like just a huge thing last year, to be able to go to the KFC. Like the FOMO this year was real. I really wish I could have been there with meeting Riku and the others.
Yes.
So yeah, I really hope like they could make worlds become worlds like again.
Yeah, that was a huge, like, wow, they could do this. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope they can bring that back. Do we have any more hopes for KeyForge? Because I want to go. I want us to just talk about some of the fun stuff we've done.
I've written already a list.
Well, okay, Linus, give us one of your things. We won't just go down every single person's list, but let's just talk about some of the great stuff that we have.
Because these are like my highlights, and I'm going to be short.
Let's go into highlights. We've talked about the game for a good hour now, so let's talk about.
Now I feel like I should have had a list going into this, but I don't.
Yeah, my list. I dream of my list every single day. Like.
So it started with Karlstad Championship, or whatever, store championship, I don't remember what it's called. That's the first time I met Hydro, and I've met also Nikiva. It was super funny. I take the car, I just drive to Stockholm. I don't even know these dudes. Early morning, because we need to drive to Karlstad from Stockholm. I come even up a bit more up north, and I have two random dudes with me. We're gonna have a long drive down. That was really nice. Learn to know both of them. Had some deep discussion of life and so forth, not only KeyForge. And then I was able to, I don't know, I had crazy semifinals. I remember that still. Hero, everybody knows the Hero. Rest in peace, Hero. I sold it. I don't have it anymore.
Oh.
You sold it?
Yes, I sold the Hero.
Oh, that's sad. How much did you get for it?
Enough. Okay. I'm happy. I'm fine.
Okay.
And I won that tournament with Hero, so there's a lot of emotional attachment to that deck. But that's exactly so. This emotional attachment to these decks and all the history behind them and so forth. But I was like, I'm a person who don't want to collect stuff. So because I'm in this situation where I'm kind of going into transition, I think this is not the moment. So, and that deck kind of didn't hold its like. It's still okay in certain formats, but most of the time when I played it and I lost, I was always annoyed because of its weakness. The weakness was so big that I didn't enjoy it to play that game. So that's the reason I was able to sell it. Anyways, that was a super nice.
Just say Nikiva plays Star Wars now as well, so he's very active in the Star Wars community. I think he kind of won. He kind of got top 8 at the PQs in Star Wars as well, so he's doing very well. I shared a room with him in Malmö, with the big Malmö tournament that we had earlier in the year, and he wakes up in the middle of the night. I'm not sure if there was an actual gunshot or an explosion or something, or if he was dreaming it, but he woke me up and said, whoa, what was that? What was that? I was like, I have no idea what's going on here. Goes, oh no, I think I was just dreaming, and then just goes back to sleep. Absolutely, such a good guy. It's so nice that he's still around. He's gonna be like, oh, do you talk about on this podcast as well? Because I did talk about it on the other one as well.
I see.
Yes, Nicola, I haven't forgotten. But yeah, you got keep going, Linus.
So that was Karlstad, and then I think the next thing, if you go in timeline wise, is actually the Skövde trip. Yeah. So we drew again south to Sweden through a snow blizzard. Had a good time. That was kind of funny. Good memories from that trip. And then we had nationals. And nationals, I was a bit loaded because I needed to win that alliance tournament. And I know I and Candyman, we were the only ones who were really kind of had built a deck. And I was unlucky because at that time I wasn't able to get the one pod that I needed from Zaramis because he didn't find it at that time. So I went with not the perfect build. I met Candyman at the finals, and he has a perfect like anti matchup for me. So he was able to win. I'm happy for him because he got the travel reimbursement and he was able to travel and so forth. So I'm happy how it went. But at that time I didn't know was I able to get to KFC. So I was devastated. But at that time I had started to do the streaming and I had some amazing people and actually I got a lot of support so that they paid my trip to KFC and I'm still deeply grateful for that, and thank you everyone who supported me for that trip. I did some interviews and I did a huge video of the film of a vlog from my trip, just some payback at least. And then that means KFC, amazing, that KFC, and that's the reason I relate to you, Algernon, when I said FOMO of KFC. That was probably the best ever experience that I have with KeyForge, because I was able to meet all the people that I've been playing many years online and meet them in person. And shout out to AFK, which is the Friends KeyForge people. They are amazing. And then I met new people that I've harmed, is one from Netherlands, and they did really well in the Worlds this year. And then obviously during this time, podcast, I love doing podcast and intros, but sadly it went with my streaming and my timing, I couldn't be as active as I wanted to be in podcast. But all of this together has like just emotions and memories and nostalgia. Thank you, KeyForge, and thank you the community and all the people. That's all.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Your intros, Linus. Oh man, your intros, like, they were fun. And why did we stop doing them in the end? It's just because they were difficult to keep writing. Like, most of the time we wrote them like 2 minutes before we started the episode.
Yeah, but thank you that you wrote them. That was good. I was happy for that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. And then I tried to do them, and then I got called names because of how I sounded in one of them, and I was like, okay, maybe Linus, you can just
hopefully I was short enough. I wanted to be short and concise. Hopefully that was.
It was one comment. I think maybe I killed your joy a bit with the intros, because I think I was one of the people on the pod who said we should stop doing them. So
that's
I think I agreed with Hydro.
How do we chuck you guys out? I can chuck you guys out.
No, I mean, this is the final time we're talking on the pod like this, or at least in 10 to 50 years. So we should get it all out now.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I killed your intros. So
I'm totally fine with that. I still enjoyed the ones that I was able to do.
You read them very well.
Yeah, they were.
Congratulations, Linus. You can read. Has anyone else got any memories like from what we've done here? From
like when Linus describes his KeyForge journey, I feel like it's, except Karlstad, which I didn't attend, I pretty much have the same highlights, like for like IRL play as Linus says. I think KFC was the highlight for me, and the nationals, and when we met up in Skövde, those were really great times. But for the podcast, I just think I liked our like banter episodes the most. Like when we didn't
Yeah.
do a lot of planning, which was quite a lot of them, I think.
90% of the episodes.
90%. So I liked most of it. Yeah, just very, very casual and just talking about the game that we all loved. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. And also I think like the strategy episodes where Sarmes was involved. We usually did them before a new Hex and KFL season started. I think those were great and great resources for people to look back and listen to, even now, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, I've got to say I miss doing this podcast with and chatting with you guys. I said it earlier on, but I miss the banter that we have. That is so easy just to kind of turn on the mics and talk with you guys, and we have content very, very easily in that way. And people liked that we got feedback that people liked that we were so laid back, and they enjoyed the banter, and they enjoyed everything, because people want to listen to a podcast that's fun, not just informative. Apparently, that's what I keep telling myself every time I do a podcast. Keeps me waking up every day.
I think it's really, maybe we should. We made a lot of episodes like that, but maybe we should have made more episodes like that just to get something out.
Maybe we should start a lifestyle podcast.
Something also that I, by the way, I remember we really had a fun time is actually been teaching the game to random people. When you meet random that you realize, oh wow, I have this encounter with one of the guys that was with me watching the stream, a German guy. Man, I'm so sorry, I don't remember his name. Forgot it already. Oh, I feel so bad. However, it was super fun time to like teach the game to somebody who's new. That was also something that I enjoyed, and I've done some coaching with Anders, and I thought that was also a super fun time to really dig deep into the game from an analytical perspective, and talking about decisions, what card are you playing, when and why. All that kind of aspect is also super fun. And in that sense, I like really Sloppy Lab Works. They are really amazing people. Those who are really promoting adaptive. They have a super analytical approach to the game, and those are amazing people. Shout out to them.
Sloppy guys are amazing. What other podcasts are still running, by the way?
Help from Future Self is still running.
Are they still done every single week without fail?
I'm not sure, but
that is impressive. Well,
Archon's Corner
at
is
least
still going, I think. Isn't it?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. And I still think Weekend Warriors there's still some stuff coming there as well. But yeah. But we're back down to hiatus stuff as well.
Yeah, maybe this is a risky topic as well, because we might
we will forget some.
we will.
Absolutely.
We've all been a bit out of the loop, so I mean, for sure we will miss some.
Yeah.
And it's
But yeah, I think, there's so many memories all the time that come from.
Can I mention one memory? So I mean, Linus, you really mentioned a lot of them, but I have two more game memories with the game. One is when we had the Grand Championship in Stockholm, and we had 32 people there, and we were playing sealed adaptive. That was such a good time. And the other was this event that kind of clogging made us do, this Battle of the Nations.
Yeah, you did that, didn't you?
Yes, that's true. I was in the Finnish team. Got spanked.
Yes.
Spanked by Hydro. Hydro High Roll Star Alliance Worlds Collide. Oh my.
You still haven't gotten over that.
Oh, that was
crazy.
This is why Linus didn't bring it up.
Yeah, you had probably repressed it, and I brought those memories out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But that was a really good time.
Well, do you guys remember one of your like your personal biggest blunders because I have one straight away, which was while I was streaming at that time. I was streaming the game, and I was playing a Wind of Exchange deck that was Blorb deck. That was actually a pretty good Blorb deck. I had a fun time with that. And he had Kaboom, so you destroy all the creatures, and if it's March creature, you archive them. And I had a bunch of Blorb on my board, and I had a card that I was going to play, so I could create the key or something like that, and I misclicked and played the Kaboom, so all the cards that I had on the board went into archives. That was super hilarious. The chat went crazy because I was like, "Hey, I can win the game! Yes, I'm gonna do this."
And you can't do that stuff.
What just happened?
Yeah.
Well, that brings me into one of my favorite memories. That was when me and Hydro refereed or talked about Algernon and Jason's game.
Oh yeah.
I was just gonna.
yeah.
I actually thought about that as well.
Was that the one? That was the one I won. Right.
Well,
You
you
won
won
one
one of them.
game.
I know. I think.
I think
but
you made a blunder in one of them.
Yeah.
I'm just focusing on the one that I won. The other two didn't happen.
But I remember one person made a huge blunder, so you had like 5 minutes of cleaning up to do.
I know who that was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
it wasn't me.
Carl, how could you do that?
I still maintain that you should have put Benny Hill music on it.
Yeah, I think it was. Wasn't it Korea Saurus thing?
Oh, Curiosaurus.
You forgot how that worked, and then we had to repopulate the board and put it.
Yeah. Curiosaurus is why I don't play keyboards anymore.
But that episode was one of my absolute favorites. Me sitting, talking, trying to sound intelligent for 2 hours.
What's he doing?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah, that was actually very funny.
Yeah, it was. But
If people ever wonder why I didn't do better competitively at KeyForge, you've got to go back and watch that one. I think it's on the channel.
yeah, I actually watch it from time to time. It's quite funny.
I watch from time to time. I should do that as well, I think.
Yeah.
Watch it weekly.
But the other major part from KeyForge that I'm taking with me is the great friends I've made online. Not just you guys, but also plenty of the Finnish guys. I think I broke Jason.
I've completely forgotten about that whole game. My memory stops after the first game that I won.
I think you were too overconfident after the winning versus Burton.
Yeah, exactly. I beat Burton, I can do anything. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, we're still recording, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm just muting myself because I would have just overpowered you with my laugh right there.
Sorry, Anders. I'm so rude. I completely stopped your.
No, that's.
But yeah.
Yeah, that was good times.
Yeah, one of the big, not blunders, but big memories I have was against. I think it was against Jonta King when I used my triple Eddie to take the key cost up to 78.
That was versus me.
Was that versus you? Of course, I keep thinking Jonta
Yeah.
King, and you keep reminding me it's versus you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, those are the ones that I remember.
Yeah.
But that was one of the better ones. And then, like, I talked to you about this before as well. Like, my last competitive game in the NKFL was a win versus Dave C. And so
That's
it
a
was
good
kind of
way to
like
go out.
mic drop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have reached my heights. I didn't even win the league, win my division, but yeah, a win versus Dave C. I think he was like preparing for another card game tournament at the time, so he wasn't there. But I take the win.
I think that's one of the best things with KeyForge as well, like the individual decks or the some games that you really remember because you get to a game state that is so unique.
Yeah.
Because I've had some decks where I managed to archive the entire deck and just have a card of hand of 6 cards, just playing them. And another one where you got to place where I could rule of 6 Abyssal Sight time again. They don't happen often, but when they do, they are so unique and memorable. And that's, I think, actually like a big reason when I return to decks is to recreate some game states that I've experienced in the past, just to get this feeling again because it's so crazy. What can happen in the game?
Yeah, I'm Last Mother. That's my closest deck.
Yeah.
Oh, heart.
Yeah.
DT best set.
That one feels so tilting to lose against. I've lost against it. I got really mad. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I guess you remember it, Linus.
Yes, I do. We talked about it after you were like, okay, sorry, Linus. I'm a bit salty now. I would say it's cool.
Yeah. Actually, one of the first interactions I had with you, Hydro, was one thing I would never remember is a sealed tournament that we did online where I bid 16 chains on a sealed deck and made it through to the semi-finals against you, and you're like, no, that was a different one. No, it was another deck that I made it through, and you're like, you made it through on this, really? And you completely destroyed me. But I was like, you must be a really good player, and I was like, you have no idea. This has been luck for me in this game. But you just
was it when we had this auction? We had an auction.
You had an auction, as well.
Time.
But there was one auction where I did spend 16 chains and on a deck and made it through to the top 4. Which was one of my greatest achievements of the game. It was early on, I will say that. Didn't get much better than that. But it was another auction one where we I ended up with a deck, and you were just like, you must be such a good player, and I was just like, yeah, you'll find out in about 15 minutes I'm not. Oh, look, I lost. Yeah, but I think we both said, Linus has now gone on as well, that you guys are in Swindle as well. I think being a part of the team, Swindle team, has been huge for me. I got so much to thank
I see
Karen for. Yeah, you got stickers. Where did you get stickers from? That's my logo. I designed that logo.
KFC.
Is that from KFC? Oh,
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I think Simon
nice.
did the initial. Oh, you got my one there as well. You never sent me one of yours, Linus. I still need one of your things. You sent me stuff in the post and still didn't put stickers in there.
What? Oh yeah.
Yeah, you forgot. You forgot.
I forgot these ones.
Yeah, those are the ones that I wanted to stick on the back.
Yeah, I didn't get those either.
I have still a bunch I can send to you guys.
But I mean, even the Swindle one, I freshened that one up when I started playing for Swindle, because I think Simon did the original one. But I need to get my hands on those as well. Oh my goodness, I can't believe they were going around.
I got some stuff like this.
I got the Sloppy Lab Work ones. Fudge and okay, I need to get back into the game just to get the stickers. But I mean, Swindle has been a huge part of the game for me. So I've so much Karen Brown has been such a hero for the game.
Yeah, that was a very good podcast moment. I think this when we were showing each other stickers and not talking really for 2 minutes. Great radio.
Oh yeah. Oh, that looks.
Sorry, I mean, so can you wait 1 second? I've just got to let the dog out of the room. It's been trapped in it.
And this. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Professional.
I mean, we've only been doing this for like 3 years.
Yeah.
It's good that
We've been doing this for 3. Was it 3 years we've been doing the podcast for? Man, it has been a journey. Yeah. Should we wrap it up? I think we could go on talking about this and having a good time for a long time, but I think maybe for the sake of us getting to sleep tonight,
maybe wrap up in 30 seconds, because then we are hitting.
That's not going to happen.
No. Okay. Okay. Worth a shot.
Carl, have you ever been on an episode where I've tried to wrap an episode up? Come on, you know that's not going to happen.
Okay.
But this is emotional. This is an emotional, guys, as well. I mean, obviously, there could be a time in the future where we refresh this feed and something comes on. But we are so grateful for everything, for everyone that we have spoken to through this podcast, and all the feedback and the criticism, even most of it at least, we're thankful for. The positive comments, the encouragements, everything is just it's been a journey, and it's been something where it's been a pleasure to be a part of this, to be a part of this experience. And this was huge for me during the pandemic, to be a part of the game and be, to talk to the game, to be included, trying to bring other people into the game. And it's just been an absolute pleasure to do this with all of you. And so thank you all very much for that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for Sizox, for the NKFL, for doing that all the time. That's all good. He's still, I guess he's still kind of going strong and leading the NKFL and coming up with new ways as well. So that's absolutely brilliant. But it's not that we're not disappearing individually. You can still see us. So thank you all so much. I think, Linus, you maybe have some content creation plans in the future. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. My plan is that after December or after the New Year, we'll see. Hopefully I will be able to continue do streaming, because that I felt more natural with streaming actually, and I've really loved doing streaming. So I hope we'll see.
Yeah,
stay tuned.
And I'm planning on going a more general board game channel stream, pushing on the captain's deck myself, and I really hope to get all of you guys involved in that as well, because I really enjoy doing podcasts with you.
My plan is to hijack one of your episodes, whether you like it or not.
You are very welcome to. This will, maybe there'll be some KeyForge content through that way as well.
Perhaps.
Through there, seeing how things are going. But this won't be the last you'll hear of us there. And then obviously, shameless plug, if you're interested in still hearing my voice, Nordic Takedown podcast, we're over there. We even got playmats. That's nothing we never did. I my biggest regret for this podcast is never getting a playmat out for this podcast. And
I mean, we even have a logo, I guess.
Yeah.
So
No,
it would have been easy to, or not easy, but we would have had something to put there.
Yeah,
the hard part was already done.
Yeah, but
Riku helped me now to create the playmats for Nationals.
They look good. They look good.
Yeah, I was so happy with the way they turn out, but now I'm desperate to win one of them.
Just print on one of your own.
Yeah.
So I guess we say, unless anyone else has got anything they want to say, a thank you,
keep calm.
Thank you.
Huh?
Forge on and prosper.
Yeah, forge on and prosper.
Yeah.
At the end of every one of my other podcast episodes, I want to say forge on and prosper instead of may the force be with you. And I'm just like, it's not even the same film franchise.
And stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. Yes.
May the forge be with you.
Yes, indeed. Forge on and prosper, indeed. Thank you all very much. And that is a big good night from us.
Good night.
Bye. Peace out.